And that's equivalent to the MC of the evening. And then this evening, you're not just sharing, because you pick up 3 gears to enhance your public speaking. And now you're thinking, hey, why should I pay? Well, because I want you to remember this unique opening. And now, take a look at the agenda. Prepare your pen and paper, because we are going to now kickstart the program. Okay? Okay, CSC. So what's up, Toastmasters? Yeah. My name is Belinda Cole, President of CSC. Here in CSC, we are focusing on competitive speaking style. Meaning that we are always talking about speech crafting, delivery, evaluation, storytelling. And now you're thinking, oh, that's nerdy. Feel free to call us nerds, feel free to call us geeks, because this is what we are passionate about. And think about it, isn't it true that life is about finding your passion? Life is about having a passion. And life is about sharing your passion. And this is CSC's vision and mission. We want to cultivate passion in public speaking among our community. We also want to help our members to become better, brighter, competitive speakers. So are you ready to become a better speaker? Yes. Are you ready to become brighter speakers? Yes. Now tonight we'll learn from some of the world's top speakers. And before that, let me do a survey. Now, how many of you have actually heard about World Champion of Public Speaking from Toastmasters? Toastmasters style. World Champion, oh, most of you. How many of you have watched videos from our World Champions, Toastmasters World Champions? YouTube, yes, YouTube, yeah, YouTube. Or maybe on the site. So, do you think that they're good? Do you think that they're great? Do you want to be like them? Yes, we all want to be like them. But let me tell you, these top speakers were not top speakers at birth. They were not top speakers at birth. But over the years, they got geared up. And with all the years, they now finally become world champion, world's top speakers. And I believe that if we are all geared up, one day we'll become like them. So are you ready to pick up some of the gears from these top speakers? Are you ready? Yes. Can't hear you. Are you ready? Yes. So shall we now welcome the first pair of speakers? Yeah. Who are they? We don't know yet. This pair of speakers have one thing in common. They're both busy. How busy? Very busy. But they managed to make time for contests. Aren't they passionate? Yes. Yeah. Aren't they passionate? Yeah. So now, let's welcome the first pair of speakers. Andrew Young and myself. I still remember that in a regular meeting, I delivered a speech called Mama Teresa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and in the floor evaluation, which is the signature of CSC, you were one of the people who gave me comments.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you still remember what you said about my speech?
Yeah, your speech, I said you need to escalate your story.
Yeah, escalating my story. And at that time I was thinking, interesting. Because I didn't know what he was talking about. And later on when you explained to me, I was actually geared up. So first gear that he shared with me, and today we're going to share this first gear with you, is escalating the story. escalating the story. So let me have a little bit of overview. So the first key is storytelling. Later on, our fellow speakers will share with you gear 2, which is structure, and also gear 3 about humor. And there is also one more secret so that you can hit your top gear and become the top speaker. So, escalating the story. In this session, first gear that you will pick up is that you pick up 3 C's to escalate your story. And we call these 3 C's the ecstasies. So 3 ecstasies to escalate your story. And after you're equipped with these ecstasies, you will practice with Andrew how to elevate and escalate your story with all the C's. You ready? Yeah. Sounds good? Yeah. So, you're going to watch the 3rd place winner of this year's Toastmasters World Championship of Public Speaking, Kevin Stamper. And this video you're watching is called Breathless. Breathless. So, of course, it's not a movie theater right now, so there's some work you need to do. So while you're watching, think about the following. Number 1, what is the circumstance? Number 2, who are the characters? Number 3, what is the conflict? Or what are the conflicts? Ready for the video? Yes.
Exactly 5 years ago, last week, at a hospital exactly 87 miles from the room we're in right now, my wife and I had an opportunity of our own, named Oliver. And I'll never forget the moments leading up to his birth. We'd been in the hospital all night, 5 o'clock in the morning, and the doctor just came in. He said, everything looks fine. You guys should rest. Now, to be honest, I'd been resting quite a bit at this point. My wife was really doing most of the work. And I've always looked up to her. She's not bigger than me. She's not taller than me, but she is stronger than me. The room was dark and quiet. And as I closed my eyes to go to sleep, that same doctor bursts into our room. And when he comes in with an army of doctors and nurses and carts and instruments. And they swarm my wife. And he gets down at the foot of the bed and he looks at her and says, listen, your son's heart rate has dropped. He is not getting oxygen. I'm going to give you 5 good pushes to get him out. If you cannot do so, we're going to have to rush both of you into an emergency surgery. And I'll never forget the look on my wife's face as fear and confusion filled her eyes in the form of tears. But friends, when you tell a mother that her child is not breathing, you unleash a force of nature. And I saw her expression change. It went from asking what is going on to declaring it is game on. And with the strength and the grit that only a mother has when it comes to her child, she grabbed the handrails of the bed and she clenched her jaw and she bore her teeth and she began to push. And the doctor said, that's great, we've got 4 more pushes to get him out. And she drew an enormous breath and pushed as hard as she could. The doctor said, you have 3 more pushes, we have to get him out. It was at this point that I offered my wife my hand. And she took it, and she squeezed really hard. As she took another huge breath and gave another huge push. The doctor said, "You have 2 pushes left. I need you to keep going." And I could see the sweat and the tears melding together on her face as she drew another massive breath and gave another massive push. The doctor said, "This is your last push. I need you to give me everything you've got." And the doctor ran over to a cart and he grabbed this little baby plunger thing and he stuck it on my son's head. And he said, "Now push." And as she pushed, he pulled. And as he pulled, for the first time, I saw my son's face. And it was at that moment that I realized that I had stopped breathing. And it's amazing how little we think about breathing until we're suddenly breathless. And as I saw my son inhale his very first breath, I exhaled my bated breath. And I thought maybe, just maybe, the reason that you and I have breath in our lungs is for the moments that take our breath away.
All right. Okay, if you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, don't clap. So, let's have some answers, responses. Any volunteers? Usually. Okay. Question number 1, what is the circumstance?
Mother giving birth and husband helping.
Mother giving birth. What's the setting? Yes, in hospital. What's the atmosphere like? Very tense, very nervous. Now, let's take a look at number 2. Who are the characters? Son, wife. What is the conflict, or what are the conflicts?
Probably the struggles inside what hope for giving birth to the baby.
Okay, it's about delivery, whether the wife can deliver the baby in a very safe way. Okay, yes.
There was one bit of conflict. There was one bit of conflict that he made humour out of, and that's the conflict that men don't have to work very hard, and women have to work really hard. He made that quite hard.
The conflict is actually the wife working really, really hard, and I don't have to work hard. Yeah. So now we've got a lot of ideas about this breathless video speech. So I'm going to introduce you the 3 ecstasies. So the first ecstasy, what is it? Halfly correct. Contrast. I say contrast in circumstance. So now, just now when you were giving us the answer, someone said, "Oh, the tension in hospital." But before the tension, anyone remember what the atmosphere was like? It was relaxing atmosphere. Okay, so everything looks fine, and the room was dark, quiet. I was about to fall asleep, and suddenly the doctor came in. So it's from relaxing to tense, from relaxing to critical, and that's the contrast in circumstance that makes this first ecstasy. So if you want to escalate your story, please next time try a little bit of contrast in circumstance. Right. So second ecstasy, make a guess. Character. Yes, character. I say character development. Develop the character. So Who are the characters again in the video, in the speech? The wife, yes. Yes. The baby in the last one. So the wife. So develop your characters in your story. The wife, she's not tall, she's not big, but she's strong. And then she's brave. So doctor, build up the doctor. Build up the doctor's character. He's responsible, he's encouraging, and lastly, the speaker, who we call a normal person. Now, in your next speech, try to have some development in your character. Build your characters up so that your audience fall in love with your characters. Build your character up so that your audience fall in love with your characters. Then it will escalate your story. So, number 3, third ecstasy. I say is captivating delivery. So we've got contrast in circumstances. We've also got character development. And how do you escalate your story in your speech? It's by some captivating delivery. Okay, voice tone, pitch, and also pace. When you're describing a relaxing situation, you go a little bit slower so that your audience can fall asleep. Relax. Dark and quiet room. I'm about to sleep. Then suddenly the doctor came in, and with an army of doctors, with the troops of nurses, and the cars, and the instruments, and so on and so forth. Then you can bring up the contrast by captivating delivery. Okay? So what are the 3 ecstasies? What are the 3 ecstasies? 1, contrast in circumstances. 2, develop your character. 3, captivating delivery. So enough about theory, let's have a practice. And in this practice, our master trainer, Andrew, will bring you to these 3 ecstasies. Let's welcome Andrew.
Thank you. Kevin Sanders' wife has just delivered a baby, and you will deliver his speech. Show of hands, who has already completed Project 6 in the community manual? Who has already completed Project 6? You will do fantastic in this delivery. So everyone in the audience, you will deliver Kevin Hamber's speech. Yes. There will be parts that we've extracted, and you will deliver with good vocal variety. There's next part that focus on using body language, and this part just focus on using your voice with different pitch, different pace, different pause, and different projection. As simple as that. Can we do that? Doesn't sound like it. Can we do that? Yes, right, let's go. So here is the script that you will all read from the screen. Just a little bit thing on the circumstance. What happens is, in his speech earlier on, he talked about his brother. Now, imagine, Kevin is this big guy, right? His brother is got to be taller than him. He said his brother is taller than him. But his brother has an asthma attack. We don't know how his brother looks like, but he is not breathing. And then his brother's girlfriend called his mother. So the girlfriend of the brother called Kevin's mother. So whenever a mom hears that his son, no matter how big he is, has an asthma attack, she panicked. And this is Kevin's script. Okay? So what happens is, everybody, please stand up. Yes, find a partner, and then each take 1 minute to read this as exaggerated as you can. Whatever you think, just read it. Don't think too much about it. Read it, and then we will see how we go. You have 2 minutes. Whenever you hear a say taking you switch partner. Okay? Don't think too much about it. Stand up, look at the screen, and begin to deliver. Speak simultaneously. Go! Please be seated. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay. Just a quick show of hands. Who is not breathing, by the way? His speech is breathless, right? Who is not breathing? Anyone is not breathing? Well, then something is wrong. After delivering this, you should be not breathing. So we need to tune up a little bit. I know you have all completed CT6, a lot of you are. So you will do even better. So there are different levels of exaggeration in the use of our voice. Level 1 is your normal one. You think you are exaggerating. Level 2 is the even more normal one. Your muscles is so tense after you have delivered the line. You begin to feel a little bit, not doing well. And then level 3 is you don't use the microphone. I don't need to demo this. If I demo this, it's too loud. Okay? So level 3 is like way over the top delivery. And you won't do that, right? So let's try this for now. Just this one simple sentence. Okay? Everybody from your seat, you are normal, as if you are normal. So my mother began screaming questions into the phone. Together, 1, 2, 3.
My mother began screaming questions into the phone.
Okay, we may not be able to hire this venue again. Okay, so next one, let's do level 2, which is your tense muscle exaggeration. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
My mother began screaming questions into the phone.
Good. Now the third one, you really need to like sit up and then sort of like lean forward and get ready. Really like strong stance and ready to do this. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Achievers is not coming back definitely. Good. Now then, it's not just being loud, right? You being loud is good, but you need to focus on the right emphasis. So there is another way to deliver the same script. Whenever you see red, you slow down. The red light, you slow down. Okay, so you go friends. When you tell a mother that her child is not breathing, you unleash a force of nature. I didn't create this speed, Kevin did. If you, there are some nerdy CSC people who watch Kevin's clip and then type and then, oh, this is where he slowed down, this is where he improved, this is how you watch a world championship speech. This is how we watch a world championship speech, right? So this is how we do it. When you see green, you speed up. So repeat the exercise. Everybody please stand up. Use level 2 sort of like muscle tense delivery, and then red you slow down, both you like emphasize, and then green you speed up. Okay? In 3, 2, 1, here we go. Level 2, friends, when you tell one mother, right? 3, 2, 1, go.
Friends, when you tell a mother.
Okay, thank you. Please sit down. So just to re-emphasize, there is absolutely no need to do this all the time at the club meeting. We don't want to poison the whole Toastmasters community. Suddenly everybody is like screaming and yelling at Toastmasters. No. There are times you want to exaggerate. There are times you do not. Quite simple. The next one, you do not need to be loud. Okay? The next one, you do not need to be loud. You just need to show the contrast between the pitch and the voice. Okay? The pitch and the volume a little bit. Because in his script, there are loud and there are pitch gets higher. So this is the script. Okay? So if I can please invite you to stand up again, a lot of sentences. Okay? Just normal reading, read the script so that you know what the context is. And then you may want to change the pace a little bit depending on the word. Whenever he say loud, he is louder. Whenever he said the pitch is higher, his pitch is higher. And there is a build-up to this. Try this first and we will see this all together. Okay? So 3, 2, 1, please go. Okay, so please remain standing because we will move into the last part. Now, you will see in this speech, which called breathless. You can like see if you can find online. There is a key phrase in here in this paragraph. It goes louder and higher, louder and higher, louder and higher, louder and higher. He did it 4 times. In the way he did it is, the first one is normal, right? The second one is louder and higher. The third one is louder and higher, and then louder and higher. So you would like to try this now. So please try this now. Build a 4-step, it's like walking on stairs, right? So build that louder and higher. Just use this forward and build this into the delivery. Let's try this. Go.
Louder and higher. Louder and higher. Louder and higher. Louder and higher.
Okay, good. Thank you. So we are doing very well. This is the final exercise where you can decide to read the speech this way. In his original script, in his delivery, the green is where he gone fast. And then the red is where he gone real slow. And then whenever he goes louder and higher, louder and higher, louder and higher. And the last sentence is, until dogs can hear the frequency coming from her lungs. So imagine how high that pitch of frequency is. So one thing he did really well is he wrote a script that enabled him to showcase his talent. We haven't written this script, he has written for us, so we can practice. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, individually, please practice this. 3, 2, 1, let's go! Okay, so please be seated. Before I hand over control back to Belinda to recap, let me just please state this again. You do not do this in every project. Right? Please do not do this in every project. When you tell stories, if you want to bring stories to life, if you want to deliver the stories, you can try to apply some of these techniques. What we would like to is next time when you look at your script, see how you can deliver it differently. See how you can deliver it differently. Okay? So, Belinda?
Yo! Yeah, when you see me, you say yo. So when you see me, what do you say? Yo. Now let's recap. So, 3 ecstasies. You've just picked up 3 ecstasies. What is the first one? Come on, this is level 0. Give me level 3! It's contrast in circumstances. That's just level 1. Okay? Now, the second ecstasy, give me a level 3. Yes, better. Character development. What about the third one? Do it in level 3, please. Yes, captivating delivery. So you're equipped with all these ecstasies, and Andrew has just taken you to practice, especially number 3, captivating delivery. Now, you've got all the elements you need to have in writing a story. What's the next step? Oh, yeah! Great! Next step is structure. Next step is structure. So, now as you can see in the slide, we have 2 other speakers responsible for the structure. And they're going to tell you effective structure to build intensity. So these 2 speakers have also one thing in common. Yeah. They both went to Vancouver to witness the birth of the world champion. One more thing in common, they are both district officers. One is division director. One is district director. Wow! Yeah, and they're going to tell you how you can structure your speech to build the intensity so that you can range from level 1 to level 3. Yeah, do. Give
Hello. I guess you will not mix our names, right? He is Matt, I'm Agnes. Matt, she is Agnes. All right, so what are we going to do? What are we going to do today, Matt?
Alright, so we had to think about what can we take from the World Championship speeches because of the semi-finals that we saw. We thought we could focus on the structure. So how can we use the structure to build emotion through the speech to really set up the message at the end? Magnus, why did we choose the particular speech that we're going to look at?
You're going to look at that speaker. That speaker is very cute. No, this is not the reason. It's because, fortunately, both of us went to that semi-final room. And that semi-final room, our intention was to support Yogesh. You remember Yogesh, right? Our not Hong Kong friend, our friend. He was in Hong Kong before. And at that moment, we also saw the number 3 speaker. It's this Simon Bucknell. And we find, both of us said, we tip. I said, he is number 1. He must be the champion. And his speech is really excellent. And we find that intensity is something we like to discuss. It's because it makes us feel the intense, how, just similar to what Belinda's talk about the acceleration, and this one is about the intensity. So we like to look at the structure, how this champion speaker build the intensity. That's why we chose Simon's speech.
Yes. But before we get to the speech, we need a bit of warm-up.
Yes, I think we need some warm-up, right? Okay, what are we going to play, Matt?
Alright, this is a little game on the next slide called How Intense Can You Get? We are going to look at a little exercise on building intensity. In a very simple way, we're going to give a demonstration, first of all, on using a gesture, using a vocal, or using a facial expression to build up intensity.
We're going to give example, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Let's just go on to the next slide. And this is how intense can you get? The way it's going to work, I am going to make a facial gesture. Slightly small one. Agnes is going to make a slightly bigger one.
How about I make a smaller one? I don't want the
you
camera
start
to come.
first. And then we'll go back to the pause and see how intense we can get.
Oh, I'm the number 1. Okay, so this is a simple about facial expression intensity. Your turn. Okay, how about I get 5 volunteers? Who would like to play this game? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Okay, may I invite you to the stage? 5. Now, instead of facial, we like a little bit more. We like body. We like body expression, okay? So how about just this order? You're the first one. So the first level of intensity. Level 1, you give whatever body language, and then you will be the last one to intensify whatever backbone. You don't need a mic. Show everybody.
Small one.
Small one. Level 1. Small one. Intensify. Okay. Your target is over there. Okay, great. Thank
Okay.
you. Great job.
How are we feeling? Are we feeling that emotion starting to build that intensity?
And especially you cannot guess from the first one to the last one what they are going to intensify and what is the result of that one and how do you feel. It also leads to the state of emotion as well.
Okay, that's given us a little bit of idea of what we're going to look at. We're going to look at the speech itself now.
The speech name is called To Be Perfectly Honest. Something we always use this line, right? To be perfectly honest, we always say it. So let's look at this speech. And you can make use of your worksheet. Basically, we already listed out in your worksheet saying 3 stories. In this speech, we will see a job interview story. Simon is going to talk. The next story is about university interview. The third story is about the student at the public speaking class. So you pay attention to these 3 stories, and we also divide 3 different parts for you to observe. First one is to look at the emotional level. Second one is how much pain did the speaker feel in each story? The speaker feel in this story. The last one is how much did each story change the speaker? And you can see 3 different stories will intensify the level. So there is some work for you. How are we going to do the work? Mark, Max, or Mark? Did I remember? Sorry, there is a guy in my mind.
For each of the 3 stories, we'll point out the stories as they start, but it is fairly obvious. And I want you to give a mark for each of the 3 questions for each of the 3 stories. So we're going to look at the first story, the job interview. Give it a mark. How much emotion did you feel on this speech? Mark out of 10. And then
1 to 10.
Yes.
1 is the lowest, and the 10 is the highest in cascade.
And then we have the pain, and we have the change. So 3 stories, 3 questions. So we want 9 marks altogether on your worksheets. Any questions?
No? Okay, let's move on.
Let's play the speech. Let's see if
Click this.
Imagine you're sitting in a job interview and you're asked the question that nearly every candidate hates. What's your greatest weakness? How would you answer? Honestly? Or would you think of a strength and try and pretend it's a weakness? When I was asked that question, I was tempted to say, well, I probably work too hard. What I actually said was, oh, I don't know, I can be a bit emotional. Really? Are you sure about that? Of course I'm sure! But Simon, your greatest weakness is one you'd hate to admit to, surely, even to yourself. Let me ask you again, what's your real greatest weakness? Madam Contest Chair, friends and fellow interview candidates, I couldn't be honest. I wanted the job, so I was trying to be perfect. And if you're wondering what my greatest weakness really is, well, to be perfectly honest, I'm not going to tell you. Yet. For a long time, I couldn't even tell myself. I remember back in 1994, my undergraduate interview for a place to study history at Oxford University, England. 3 o'clock sharp, 3 professors on the panel, 4 glasses of sherry. Hello, Simon. I'm Professor Mitchell. This is Professor Helmut Pogge von Strandman. And this is Professor Murray, the world's leading authority on medieval suicide. Between us, we know everything. What would you like to talk about? I may have wanted the perfect interview. What I got was a perfect grilling. For years, I became obsessed with getting everything right. I was the student trying for perfect grades. I was the employee trying for the perfect job. I was the boyfriend who was just trying. I tried for the perfect life. Honestly, it broke me. Is it just me?
Or have you too at times tried way too hard to be perfect, especially in the eyes of other people? If you have, then you'll know it's ever so easy to end up living a lie, to impress a teacher, to please a boss, to gain the approval of mum and dad. We say to ourselves and to others, yeah, it's fine, I'm fine, even if we're not. Because unless you're perfect, you can feel like you're a failure. And then one day I was running a public speaking workshop in a school. 30 boys, 15 years old. How's that for a dream assignment? The headmaster warned me beforehand about one of the boys. Watch out for Steve-O. He's a little bit challenging. Little bit challenging. He was a nightmare. Until at the end of the day, each boy stepped up to give a speech. And who do you suppose came in to listen? Way at the back by the doors, the headmaster. Up comes Steve-O, shabby jacket, scuffed shoes. When you look at me, you probably think I'm a joke. But I'm not. You probably think, dead-end kid, probably end up in a gang. But I won't. Come on, headmaster, be honest. You must think, Steve-O, he won't do anything with his life. But I will! You ever seen a headmaster's chin hit the floor? Steve-O wasn't perfect, far from it. But what he was honest. Not just with his audience, but with himself. It was like he was looking in a mirror saying, this is what I believe, this is who I am. And if you could have seen the impact he had, because there's me, an Oxford graduate, for years thinking, I can't be honest, I've got to try to be perfect. And yet here's a 15-year-old boy with none of the advantages I had, teaching me that it's the other way round. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be honest. And as I look back on my life, I wondered, have I been that honest? Have you? Time for me to step back and look into my mirror. What's your real greatest weakness? Honestly, for me, it's pride. For too long, I was too proud to accept that exam grades really aren't everything, that I had a job I didn't really like, and a life that wasn't really mine. But then my mirror spoke back, forget the grades, you can leave the job, now get out there and live. So I did, and experienced a liberation within. Because today I run my own business. I have done for 10 years. I'm a husband and I'm a father. Because what I've learned is that in life it's more important to be honest than to try to be perfect. Honest with yourself about how you truly feel, about what matters most to you. When I last saw Steve-O, he was so excited. Sir, I'm making my first album. Turns out public speaking isn't really his thing. But music is. Whatever your thing may be, what if you were to take another look into your mirror? What might it say? What action might you take? By looking in the mirror, like me, you may well spot imperfection. And that may well feel uncomfortable, but the good news is, to be perfectly honest, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be honest.
We had our job interview at the beginning. We had our university interview with 4 professors. And we had our, what do we call it? Students in public speaking class. Okay. If you haven't done so already, take a minute, think about how you would mark each of those speeches in terms of how much emotion you felt, how much pain you see, how much you changed. going to give you a minute for that, and then we are going to review the results. Okay.
Okay, let's take a look at the first one. The first one, emotional level of 3 different stories. You have 3 different numbers in your box, right? And we're going to have a little bit different way to show your numbers. If you rate that box 1 to 3, you raise one hand. If you give 4 to 6, you raise both hands. If you rate 7 to 10, you stand up. Okay? Okay. Clear? Why? You don't want to stand up or you want to stand up? All right. It's not secret ballot.
Okay, so let's try.
First story, the job interview.
Yes, so emotional level.
How do you feel about the emotional level?
You have 1 to 3, put up one hand. 4 to 6, 2 hands. 7 to 10, stand up. Nobody standing up. Okay.
Okay. The next one, next story is about the university interview. How do you feel if it is 1 to 3? One hand. 2 hands. Stand up.
Okay, well,
Okay.
be brave.
Okay.
All right.
So 2 of you also, 3 of you also feel very intense already, right? Okay. University one. Last one.
Last one, public speaking.
Public speaking class for the student.
1 to 3.
One hand. 2 hands.
Six.
Both hands. Stand up.
10. All right.
All right. We can see very intense.
It's working on this.
No, no, comment I can make. The university interview was very personal for him. That was his own experience.
True.
So that's why, to me, it resonated as emotional.
Okay.
Not just
Good.
the way you told it, but
Yes.
context.
Yes. Okay, thank you for that. So let's go
Thank
to
you.
question 2. Let's move a little bit faster. Question 2. Hey. Speech 1. 1 to 3. 4 to 6. 7 to 10.
Stand up.
Okay.
Next story, the university interview.
Yes, university, yes.
How much pain did the speaker feel in that story?
1 to 3.
Both hands.
4 to 6.
Stand up.
7 to 10.
7 to 10. Okay.
Okay.
Last story. How much pain did that speaker feel when he was teaching this whole story about the teaching the public speaking student, when he discovered how the student doesn't want to pursue the public speaking, and eventually he would like to go for the music, right? So how do you feel? One hand. 1 to 3. 4 to 6. 2 hands. Very intense. Stand up, please.
Okay.
Okay, we can see the pain
Yes.
of that speaker.
I bet a lot of you are teachers.
Okay, you can relate. Okay, last one. How much did each story change the speaker? Let's take a look at the first story. Also it's about the job interview, the first one. 1 hand. Both hands. Stand up. No, okay. Change the speaker.
I wonder if he got the job. All right.
Next one. Second one is the university interview. 1 hand. Both hands. Well, at least we can see it's like the middle. It's quite a lot. And then stand up if you feel this is also very intense. But it has changed the speaker. Okay? Okay, let's see the last one, the final story. Final story is about the public speak class student. Did it change the speaker? 1 hand, 1 to 3, if you rate. 4 to 6, both hands. Very. Stand up, please.
Okay.
Yes, it totally changed the speaker. Thank you. Well, quite a lot of exercise.
Okay, so we can see three different ways that Simon uses 3 stories to build that intensity, building the emotion, building the pain, building the change. And that kind of sets us up for the drop, for the message. So this in a nutshell is the structure that we're looking at.
And now it's over to you. We are going to have you to build your story. Now, because of time, quickly think of a story. I mean a topic. A topic inside has 3 different little stories of yourself. That's why you have some space for you to write 3. 1, 2, 3. So you choose your story. I'll give you a very quick example. If I choose my Toastmasters journey, then the first story is I joined in the first few years. The second one is very intense. I go to a lot of contests. And then the last one, I fail in the contest and then I go back to another contest. That may be very intense. Something like that. So you choose something to quickly write a point.
Yeah. So we think of a theme and just write 3 story topics that you feel is building the intensity. So we give you 2 minutes.
Or even something happened today.
Yes.
You can also write a story. 1, 2, 3. 1 minute.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner. So think of your 3.
Breakfast, lunch.
Yes.
Now it's very hungry, so it's very intense.
Okay, so we'll have this 2 minutes. Just think of your 3.
So when you're ready, you're going to pair up with your partner
Yes.
to quickly discuss.
Once you've got your ideas, put it into pairs. So you want you to pair and share. So pair up. Tell your 3 ideas to your partner. See what they think. And then swap. Getting some ideas? Some ideas? Share with each other. What are your ideas?
Okay, time's up for this exercise.
Okay, this obviously went very well. Now, who would like to take one pair as a volunteer to share your stories?
Who is the volunteer? Any volunteer like to share?
How about Ron and Cecilia? Ron and Cecilia, come up to the stage.
Stand up and share. Okay. Okay, let's welcome.
Yes, come in front, okay. Alright.
Okay. So, 2 stories?
Okay, let's.
There were 3 essays.
Hi everyone, I'm Cecilia from MPC.
Hi, I'm Ron from MPC as well.
That's a coincidence.
Okay,
With enough time, okay, go ahead.
so my first story. I always have an idea when I will visit my dreamland, Legoland. So finally, I make up my mind. I have to start my trip coming October. So I start to plan which sites I'm going to visit and meet up my friends there. But finally, I bought the flight ticket. However, I find this few days, the euro price goes up day by day because the US goes down because of Korean War. So, is it a good timing to buy euro or later? So, even in office, I keep on thinking of this problem. And finally, today, I made the decision, buy euro.
I'm not surprised. I now don't wonder what Cecilia works in, what industry. Very good, very good. Okay, so for me, I just went on a trip to Europe. So I went to Berlin, and then the first shop I went to was a glasses shop because my friend told me there was a machine that could turn out a pair of glasses in 20 minutes. And so I went, and it really delivered the job, and I was really, really happy because it was a souvenir for me. And then I was there actually for a wedding. There was a friend who I have not met for 10 years because she was actually my university friend. And then she got married in this ancient house that was built 500 years ago for a pope. But the pope didn't actually get to live in it because he died before the house was finished. But anyway, that was a great mansion, totally beautiful, historical site, and it was so happy for me to see my friend to walk down the aisle with her perfect man. And lastly, to end the trip, I went to drinking with my other friend. Okay, so in Berlin, everywhere is graffiti, and nobody follows the rules. Okay, so we saw on the train there is a sticker that says that no drinking and no eating, and guess what? I ate, and I drank, and I took pictures in front of that sign. And that concludes my trip.
Okay,
It is unprepared, okay? And you can see it's possible to build your story without preparation and do it so well with intensity.
all right. Now, time is coming rapidly to an end. I'll give you just a little taste in 30 minutes. Thinking about your structure, your stories. Not just three flat stories or three stories going down, but think about stories that build. And when you're ready to give your message, control the impressions of your audience. They're ready.
You enjoy this speech, right? And also the story, the message, everything, it comes very, very well and also very meaningful as well.
So like this.
Yes? Matt, not Mark. Yes. Matt, yes?
How are you going to use this in your next speech? How are you going to build the intensity, the emotion in the next contest speech?
Well, I'm not going to tell you yet. I remember how Simon was saying, I'm not going to tell you yet.
Okay, that's being honest, I guess.
Well, to be perfectly honest, we are all going to build a story like this because this is a very, very, very charming and also winning speech. So thank you very much for everyone watching this speech, and also we all learn from it, from this Simon, this champion. He placed second in the world champion, and another speech, maybe you can YouTube and find the other speech. And we all love this one. It's the semi-final, it's champion speech. Usually they will choose their signature speech or the one who has, they already won at the district level. So this one will be his country from UK. And this guy also came to Hong Kong before. I have a short chat with him afterward. He came to Hong Kong and lived in Lan Kwai Fong area and I wish he is now here in Hong Kong, but he's not. But anyway, thank you.
Keep your ideas.
Back to you.
Thank you. To be perfectly honest, I learned a lot from Matt and Agnes. Do you also learn a lot? Yeah, on how to build your stories, how to build intensity. And remember what they say. It's not about writing, it's not about having any stories. It's about having stories with progression towards one message. Now you've got the elements, how to escalate your story. You've got the structure. Do you notice that when you're watching some good speakers, or any speakers, you tend to like some of the speakers more. And you tend to think that, oh, this speaker is putting me to sleep. So, when will you like a speaker more? Yeah, when they bribe us. IPP. All of a sudden, I was out of my mind. Yeah, said that if the speaker gives you money, you'll like him more. Yeah, I won't give you money, but I want you to like me as well. Sometimes some speakers will captivate our attention, and this is you have this handsome British guy building intensity now. Yeah, some speakers are with a lot of humor, so that we like him or her a lot. Who can you think of? Below, yeah. So in the next session, our two speakers will tell you about how humor can help us manage the audience emotions. They are both fathers. Not fathers of biological children. But I don't know. I just made a guess. I made it up. Sorry. I made it up.
Please don't get me in trouble.
But they are fathers. But they are fathers of something. One is the father of CSC. The other is father of humor. When you see him, you want to laugh. Yeah, now, let's introduce them and let's see whether you will laugh by seeing them on stage. Let's welcome Roberto and Bilal.
Currently, we are out of money right now. We broke, right? No money, no talk. Yeah, no money, no fun, and no talk either as well. Okay, so at this room, we're going to talk about how you guys going to manage humors. I totally forgot what I want to say because you said that we're fathers. Okay. Now, at this moment, before we get going, and before we move on into the next session, the next 30 minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to go through two parts. One part is how do you create humor, and then second part is about how you manage the emotions with humor. All right, so those are the two parts. But first, let's play a very simple game. Now, this game is called Fortunately, Unfortunately. Bilal and I are going to give you a demonstration. At this current moment, you start off with fortunately. Any sentence would be fine. So you guys can give me a topic. Any topic will be okay, except father. Mother, okay, fine. Okay, fortunately, I know who the mother is. Now then, Bilal will go on with unfortunately, and based on what my sentence is, he's going to make a statement. Go ahead.
Unfortunately, the mother ran away.
Fortunately, now I have all the freedom to play all the video games I want.
Unfortunately, mother has a detection device.
Fortunately, I know how to throw it out the window.
Unfortunately, she has hid 3 more in her bedroom.
Right, fortunately, I don't know where they are. Okay, so you understand how to play this game, right? Now, this is going to be involving all of you right now. And you guys can, perhaps in one row can play one row like this, all together. And any topic, the person can start. So try to go from fortunately, unfortunately, and make it one sentence only. One sentence only. Okay, don't make it long. Just one sentence, finish, next person, unfortunately. Now for you, because you have 3 people only, you can choose to join the first front row. That will be 6 people in total together. All right? I'm going to give you 2 minutes to play this game. Okay, are you all ready? Yes? Any topic will be fine. So it doesn't matter what topic it is. No, as a whole. As a whole. As a whole. See if you guys can work as a whole. Hey, cool. hopefully, let's hear some of the unfortunate part. Let me hear this group, the last two fortunate and unfortunate. What do you guys have? Yeah, the last two.
Okay. They said that there is a millionaire within this room.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then I said, fortunately, I'm the billionaire.
And then I continue by saying I didn't put on any makeup on my face today.
Okay, good. All right, let's hear maybe this group right here. What do you guys have for the last two sentences right here?
Unfortunately, I haven't drank anything, and I'm very thin now.
Okay. And
Fortunately, part of this workshop where we get to hear baby to hear.
okay, so you get thirsty, you get to see a lot of leaders. Great. I love it. Okay, now this little simple exercise, it helps you to do two things. Number one, contrast, which you already learned from Melinda earlier on. And you notice contrasting helps to create humor. Because the next person, you don't know what they're going to say. And so that person, if they crack something surprising, you have really good fun with it, right? So part of the humor, contrast. But secondly, using fortunate and unfortunately also helps you to change your mindset a little bit. A lot of times, humor is all about making fun of our own tragedy. So the question is, can you see the fortunate part of it? And that's where the mindset of fortunately and unfortunately comes in. All right? So hence, first technique is very simple, which is contrast. Now, we're going to show you an example. In this section here, what we did was we found some of the more humorous bits of each of the speakers. So we're using 3 speakers tonight. One is John Andrews, he was in the finals, and also Kwang Yuyan, and also Manoj. For John Andrews, he was talking about him being a funeral director. If you don't know what funeral director is, it's for helping the dead people and their family moving on and things like that. So now, let's hear this and observe how he contrasts between, his job and whatever it is he needs to contrast with. All right? So
I went back to college, wrote my board exams, and for the last 11 years, I have been a licensed funeral director. What did you think I meant when I said I was an underground commodities dealer? When my mom found out I wanted to do this, she was, pun intended, mortified. Be honest, if you had a choice between your son joining the mob or a funeral service, it would be a tough call. Let me tell you some of the advantages of being my kind of underground commodities dealer, particularly if you're ethically flexible. Single people, this is a great way to get dates. Easy. They come to you, they need a shoulder to cry on, and just in case you got your eye on the one who's, how can I put this, newly single again, hey, when they're ready to love again, you have earned a place in their heart. Now, let's say I meet an attractive young widow and I want to take her out on a date. A gentleman brings flowers, doesn't he? Bang! Undertakers get free flowers. Honey, technically they're used, but they still smell nice. And I was thinking of you when I stole them off that card's not for you, hold on. Say I've had a few dates and it's time to take this relationship to the next level. Want to look in her big pretty eyes and ask her to be mine forever. Gonna need a ring for that, aren't I? Bang! Undertakers get free jewelry. Hey, what I said was, I want you to have grandma's ring. I never said it was my grandma's ring. If you get the option to marry an undertaker, say I do. Because when you ask us, how was your day? The answer will never be, meh, nothing special. We see it all. And I'm not just talking about the gory stuff either. The things you live people have asked me to do in my career have been downright mind-boggling. Like, do I need to bring in pants for my dad's viewing if the lower half of the casket is going to be closed anyways? We consider that dignified. Yeah, bring in his pants.
What are some of the free things he gets? Jewelry, flowers, right? So again, he's comparing to him being a funeral director and also a normal person. So contrasting between the two can create some humor too, right? So now this is the first technique. And the next one, I'll have Bilal, the king of the father of humor. Who's gonna introduce you to next? Fine, I'm sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, having covered the first part in contrast, it's time to think of the second part, self-deprecating. As Roberta has just clearly demonstrated. Father. Do I look like a father?
Yes.
Yes. Fortunately, that is a good example of self-deprecating. You have clearly demonstrated every single bit. Now, the next video I would like each of you to watch is someone which we all know very, very well. Who is that? Kong Yu-Yan. This is his semi-final speech, and here he has actually demonstrated quite nicely how he actually self-deprecates himself. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get started.
I know there are some of you out there who don't like Toastmaster speeches about Toastmasters. So I'm going to tell you one anyway. August 2011. I just came second at the World Championship of Public Speaking. People were asking me, are you going to compete again next year? My answer, yes, no, maybe. Yes, because I was really close. No, because I'm really tired. And maybe, as well, maybe. You see, in my mind, 2 is pretty good. Technically, it's bigger than 1.
Kong got certain personality. He has got a certain characteristics, but he actually do the opposite of that. So Andy can do that. Andy knows women. I can spell women. So things like that. And then, what was the next thing he did? Well, when he was, I kissed her, that's the interesting part.
Which part is interesting?
Every part. When he said he won the world champion, second place. So technically, 2 is bigger than 1, which is right. But in a way, he's actually self-deprecating himself. So, ladies and gentlemen, having got these theories, it's time for practice, practice, practice. And let's welcome our practice master, Roberto.
Thank you, Father.
Father of practice.
Father of practice.
Alright. Okay, so at this current moment, most of us are having sometimes thinking about really hard about what makes it humorous. So we keep it simple. This exercise is very simple. All you have to do is just write 3 things that you hate, the audience love. Alright, automatically, yeah, I know you guys are what? Let me give you some examples. I hate kids. You guys love kids. Okay. I don't know, but I would assume most. Okay, let's put it this way. I hate kids. I think 80% of you love kids. Which 80? I don't know. You guys decide. Another part of me is also I hate Halloween. You guys understood, right? You guys get that. I hate Halloween, but then a lot of the people in the US and even here love to celebrate Halloween. So again, think of something that you hate, but yet the audience love. All right. So I'll give you 2 minutes to think about that. therefore, if you go to do a market survey right now, this is the best place. No, you have everybody. Do you hate this, by the way? Not just to confirm and discuss, just talk about it, right? So give you a chance right now as well. If you already have one or two ideas, feel free to share with other people and compare those. All right? So go. This is how humor can be as simple as that. Sometimes you think too hard. As long as you have two things contrasting, and you start talking to others. Now, this could be materials for you. You start hearing other people. The most important, once you share something that you hate, what do you usually add? You add in a little bit of attitude. Maybe you add in a little bit of comments or some of your personal experience about how that happened to you or how much you hate it. You know, I mean, my first day in kindergarten was looking at the kid, and I was like, and the first thing he said was, "Yes!" That was a good welcome for me. So I got the flu the next week. That was really lovely, right? Hey, don't laugh. I got really sick, okay? Anyway, so you see, this is a very simple technique for you to think about your own personal story. If let's say when you are thinking about your story, how can you make it and uncover some of the humor there? Think about that. Now, our next part, right now we just finished the part about how to create humor. So I'm sure all of you got some very simple technique and know how to do it. Next part, Bilal, he's going to talk to you about how to use humor to manage the emotions. All right? So, Bilal, thank you, Roberta.
We all learn how to create humor. And there's so many techniques in terms of humor. Now the next question is, crucial question is, can humor actually win you world champion? That is the question which you need to think. If it's all laugh, will that actually win you world champion? So how do you use humor to manage the audience emotion? And with that, we'll move to the next clip.
Just to give you a bit more background, this speech is actually a semi-final speech from Manoj, and he is sharing a story between him and his kids while traveling. All right.
Soon we took a wrong turn, and guess what? I saw a scary ride, a ride that starts at a height of 5 stories, followed by a vertical drop all the way down. People on the ride were yelling and screaming. And my son goes, "Daddy, let's go for that ride." So no, they're bad people. They just dragged me inside. The entrance of the ride was a dark cave leading to a long, dark tunnel that spiraled all the way to the top of a man-made mountain. That's where the ride would start. As we climbed up the tunnel, I saw a sign that said, "Warning. This ride is not suitable for pregnant women or for people with back problems or heart problems. This way to exit." Darling, Daddy can't take this ride. I have a weak heart, a back problem, and I think I am pregnant. They just pushed me forward. As we climbed up along the dark tunnel, I saw several such warning signs that filled me with fear. I wanted to exit. But if I back out, my kids will be very sad. If I take the ride, I will die. Soon we reached the top. There I saw a sign in red. "This is your last chance to exit." I dragged my kids out towards the exit. In a rare show of unity, both of them started to cry. Everyone around us was staring at me. One man shouted, "Hey, dude, this ride is not as bad as you think." I stared at that man and said, "Fine." What do you think? Did I take the ride? I had to. The vertical drop lasted for just 2 seconds. It was not as bad as I thought. Later, we got this. Look at me, frozen with fear. My kids. Everyone looks scared. Now, look at this cheerful lady. She was the only person who remembered to enjoy the ride. Those were the 3 magic words I learned. Enjoy the ride. I felt my life was like that ride. And this picture shows how I was living my life. Like most people, I was going through life with fear, worry, and anxiety about the future. Think about this. Have you been enjoying your ride?
Okay. Now, as you can see, he has clearly demonstrated a lot of humor here. But one crucial thing is he used humor to heighten audience attention. And once that audience attention is there, and then he bring out the message. Towards the end, when he took out the photo, there's one girl who was doing what? Enjoying the ride. And once the audience attention is grabbed by the speaker, he then carried out that message. And that is where humor became a lot more effective than just giving humor and then sort of, here's the message. So there has to be that transition in terms of human emotion. There was that excitement, and then there was that scary moment, and then we all laughed. And then once that picture was there, the message came out. So the next part is for you to try. So each one has a sheet. If you turn on the sheet the other way, there are some questions for you to fill out. So how did we create humor? So you can fill up the blank. And then how do we manage emotions with humor? So I can give you 2 minutes, 2 minutes for that? 1 minute. So, do you have an answer? So what did we learn today? Technique in terms of creating humor. Contrast. Next one. Self-deprecating. How do we manage emotions with humor? Yes. Heighten what? Heighten audience attention. Lift the mood, basically that's what I said. And it does what? And what does that do to the audience? It draws the audience closer to you. Excellent! And once people laugh, what are their state of mind? Relax. Relax, relax, relax it. Firstly, you will relax the audience. The next thing, the audience will be present. and then the audience will be connected with the speaker.
Okay, so at this current moment, what we have just covered is the part about how to use humor to manage emotions, right? Now, our next part is going to go into the secret. Ooh, what is the secret? So we went from gear 1, which is about escalate your story. Gear 2, about building intensity with your structure. Gear 3 is about managing emotions with humor. So what is the secret? Well, at this moment, if you all have watched Manoj's World Champ speech, and if you're familiar with him, is that he actually used this same speech in 2015. So today what we're going to do is compare a little bit between 2015 and 2017. What did he do differently in storytelling? What did he do differently in humor? And what did he do differently in structure? Okay. So here we have the storytelling part. So we're going to play 2015 first, then we're going to go into the 2017. So observe, listen carefully, and then we come back.
In great depression. Have you had problems in your relationships? How did you fix it?
Contest chair, ladies and gentlemen, when I was 24, I was still waiting for Cupid to shoot the arrow and find me the perfect partner. Guess what? It seems Cupid doesn't live in India. I was 24 years old. I had a nice job, nice car, nice hair. Still, my girlfriends didn't stay for long. Have you ever had problems in your relationships with others? What was wrong with them? Contest chair, ladies and gentlemen, when I was 24, I was living in India. I was still waiting for Cupid to shoot his arrow and find me the perfect partner. Guess what? It seems Cupid doesn't live in India.
Go back and listen to the differences between his 2015, because his 2015 speech is actually also on YouTube. So you guys can go back and do some comparison. But if you were able to hear it, he actually used less humor this time. No yoga, no relationship books, no music. And why did he do that? Focus more on the message, but more importantly, focus more on the emotions. Right? So he wants you to really feel that he is actually having a painful moment going through his marriage. So that's one of the things about humor. You add in, sure, people laugh, great. But maybe at that moment, you may want them to feel more about the pain rather than the humor. So a question for you guys to think about and check as well.
Maybe the panel of judges has changed already.
Yeah, could be also the panel of judges have changed already.
Well, that's the point.
Yeah, and so therefore I'm going to go into my next point, which is about his change of structure. Now, let's see what happens there too.
When she wanted to swim, I joined her at the shallow end. When I became nice, she became nicer. Soon, she started cooking better than Mama. Last month, my wife, Sindhu, and I celebrated our anniversary for the 17th time with our 2 children. Yes, that's the same wife. My dear friends, what do you think? Are we now perfect partners? No. Do we still fight? Yes. The difference is that now, even when we fight, we are still holding hands. My dear friends, if you have any problem in any relationship, try to pull less and bend more. If you do, I'm sure we can. Contest chair.
In this moment, the next version you're going to see, again, think about the structure. What did he do differently in terms of structuring the ending?
In my search for the perfect partner, I discovered that perfect partners are those who keep perfecting their partnerships by choosing to pull less and bend more. You can see problems in any relationship, within families, between friends, between colleagues, between races, cultures, nations. Today it seems like our world is breaking apart, doesn't it? Still, when you look at this room, you see people from 142 different nations sitting together, shoulder to shoulder, and getting along fine. How is that possible? Toastmasters, you are proof that no matter what our differences are, by choosing to pull less and bend more, we can stay together. Last month, my wife and I celebrated our 19th anniversary. Yes, that's the same wife. Do you think we still argue? Yes, but now even when we argue, we are still holding hands. My mama is no more with us, but her words still rings in our ears. Pull less and bend more. Pull less and...
Okay, so what is the difference between the 2015 and 2017 in terms of ending?
17 years and 19 years.
17 years and 19 years. So he added up the numbers, at least he made that good calculations. And he involved the audience less, more general, right? Okay. So at some point, if you notice, he added the part about, us Toastmasters sitting shoulder to shoulder. He had to add that part in, so therefore he needs to delete some of the humor part beforehand, so that way he has space and time. So managing the humor is not just only emotions, but also depending on what the message you want them to focus on. That would also affect where you place your humor. Right? So overall, now today what we have done is that we wanted you to understand that experience what is intensity, experience what is humor, but all of these are knowledge. But knowledge, now that you need to put into practice. Because the secret, and which is very simple secret, for world champs, just rewrite. It's very simple. You guys are expecting something big, aren't you? But think about it. Today's knowledge that you have learned, put into practice. Ask yourself the next time, where do I want to put that humor? Where do I want to put that transition, structuring? That would also affect everything. So today we have gone through gear 1, gear 2, gear 3. To be honest, to be top gear, you just have to keep rewriting and rewriting and rewriting until it fits the audience. All right? So that is our today's workshop right now. And I'm going to pass back the time to our president to give a closing remark.
Thank you, fathers. Now it has been almost 2 hours, and you've equipped with 3 gears and 1 secret to hitting top gears. You now can be a driver, drive faster, speak better. And this is what we CSC members always do. We are always dissecting every speech, everything, every day, almost.
Everything.
Yeah, you didn't dissect me, I didn't dissect you yet. Fortunately, this is our passion. Unfortunately, people think that we're nerds. But in CSC, we have quite a number of signature programs. One is about floor evaluation. Floor evaluation is about you're a speaker, you give a speech, and then the floor will give you specific feedback so that you can rewrite your speech, so that you can make a better speech, a perfect speech. And this is what public speaking is all about. I still remember one of the world champions always say, a good speech is written, but a great speech is rewritten. So So in order to improve, in order to make a perfect speech, you're going to write again, and again. And in CSC, we also have skill build workshops from time to time. So in this 2-hour workshop, you are equipped with 3 gears. And in CSC, there are all gears flowing around. So you have a lot of chances, a lot of opportunities to pick up all the gears. Now, so if you are interested in us, you can talk to us. Our next regular meeting is in 2 weeks' time. We meet on every first and third Thursday. And our next regular meeting is on the 21st of September. Okay, is a Thursday. Yeah, it's a Thursday. Right. So, in closing, so I see that we're all tired, right? I'm also tired. So let's give a little bit of energy first before we take the group photo. Okay. So everybody, put your hands up. Yeah, let's go again. So yo, put your hands up, put your hands up, yo, put your hands up. Now we're coming to an end of the CSC event. I want to thank you, you truly are my friends. Do you remember all the 3 gears? Be forgive me, your better speaker. 3 SSCs, structure, build, intensity. Final gear, emotion with humor. So you want to have top speed, you gotta have a key. What's the key? Message is the key. Now apply these to your next speech. Apply all these, you'll be speaking at ease. And we are competitive speakers. Wow. Competitive speakers. Wow. Competitive speakers. Wow. Bring you the gears you need to pick up.